I was disappointed in Bibi just on a personal basis. When we have an election, that was a rigged election, like a third world country election. I think it's a terrible personal trait. I haven't spoken to him since, right? I didn't talk to him. I thought he wanted to make a deal more than Netanyahu. And I will be honest, I had a great meeting with him, Abbas, right? I had a great meeting with him. And we spent a lot of time together, talked about many things. And it was almost like a father. I mean, he was so nice. Couldn't have been nicer. And after meeting with Bibi for 3 minutes, I looked at him and I said, "You don't want to make a deal, do you?" And he said, "Well, and the fact is, I don't think Bibi ever wanted to make a deal.
Why?
I thought the Palestinians were impossible, and the Israelis would do anything to make peace and a deal. I found that not to be true."
Then yes, the moment you do something to disappoint him, you cross over to the camp of his enemies. There's nothing in between.
So far, under the Trump administration, we thought that the American president and the Israeli prime minister, former, of course, Trump and Netanyahu, former president, former prime minister, are as close as possible. Now we're seeing that if they're not, we thought that the American administration is completely biased against the Palestinians. According to what Trump says, probably not. Father figure, that's what he said, not me.
The thing that's... Is it possible for Donald Trump to jump the shark? Well, Ben Magrum... Now, he's talking at the Republican Jewish Coalition. And listen to what he says. He says, "I think you, as business people, will feel good about this and respect it." Now, wait a minute. How do you know they're business people? It's the Republican Jewish Coalition, but maybe they're dentists. Maybe they're working construction. I don't know. Okay, so here's what he follows up with. "I'm a negotiator, like you folks." Wait a minute. Why are they negotiators? Why are you assuming they're negotiators? Because they're Jews. This guy's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, more. He says, "And maybe better than any audience, the people in this room understand what I'm saying." But why? Why? So now he's literally saying, because you, this audience, the Republican Jewish Coalition, because you're Jews, you know what I'm talking about in negotiations, right? I mean, these are the oldest stereotypes in the world. And by the way, they led to very, very ugly things. So they're not trifling matters. It's only funny because of how over the top and ridiculous it is, right? So he continues, "Some of us renegotiate deals. Is there anybody that doesn't renegotiate deals in this room? Perhaps more than any room I've ever spoken to." Oh, for God's sake. Oh, for God's sake, man. How's that not anti-Semitic? How's that not at the least a wild, horrible stereotype about Jews? And he has no conscience. He doesn't know. He doesn't realize that he's saying things that are deeply offensive, totally stereotypical. He's like, you know, you Jews, you like to renegotiate everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, unfortunately, I do know what you're saying. Anyway, no. He says, quote, "I know why you're not going to support me, because I don't want your money." Oh, God. Dude, don't say that. That's terrible. Like, it went from ridiculous to, like, really dark.